All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another market open. The stock market was green yesterday. It was actually feeling really nice yesterday. And today, that has fundamentally changed. We barely even got to 400 on the S&P 500. And then it changed. Now, why did it change? Well, I guess that's the nature of being an investor. Things change overnight in seconds, but it happened. Hauling America, what's up? SJ Tavares, what's up? Mike, what's up, man? Mike, every time I see your profile picture, I get inspired. You got the gains. I love it. Futbucker, Aaron, Semjon, Seth, Rod, Gabe, GS Strategies, Magic. Here we are. Here we go. Ruckshit, good morning. Is the beard not coming back? Look, the beard is growing, but I kind of like it short, man. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I'm going to let it grow out to be the behemoth that it was last time. I looked at a video of me yesterday with the beard. I'm not going to lie. It looked like a terrorist. I'm not going to lie. And I can say that because I looked at it. I was like, holy crap. I look like a terrorist. So I kind of like it like this right here. It looks kind of nice. I'm just saying. I can say that. I missed the leather jacket. Yeah, me too. I don't know. I should probably wear it again when we have a green day. Vincent, what's up? Stay at the dips and buy the rips. That is correct. Good morning. John Stevens, Sasky. Hello. Let's get you started, bro. I told you, bro, I know I've been going to the gym with cardio. I've been doing about 45 minutes of running a day, but not lifting yet. So I will eventually do that. Rocky Tillman, keep the beard where it is. Looks good just that it is. Are you getting some Tesla? Well, let's see. Let's get into the market right now. Obviously, things are red. Honestly, I mean, it makes sense that things are red. We didn't expect things to just be amazing, right? Especially after yesterday's rip. It all felt unnatural, regardless of where we have inflation. Tesla, I mean, it's not even down that heavily. Yesterday was 134, 126. It's not the worst. It's not down like crazy. Arcimoto, this stock has just been destroyed. So, I mean, it could be worse for Tesla. They could be Arcimoto. They're not Arcimoto for a reason. So Arcimoto's down. Rocket Labs is down. Google. I mean, stocks are down. It's not like down crazy. Even Bitcoin from 21,000 to 27.45. It's not down as much as you think. Even Snapchat, right? It was 938 yesterday. Today it's 926. Like the market's down, but not insane. S&P is down decently. 388 from 400 is where it used to be. Palantir at 690, down 2.4%. Toyota 145, Snowflake 140, Apple 135. Where's the NASDAQ? Oh, Netflix has earnings today. I'll be live streaming that today on the channel. So we'll all go through that together and we will discuss Netflix earnings. I believe that's going to be like 4:30, maybe 5. So just stay tuned for that notification coming out. Where's the NASDAQ? Where's the NASDAQ? It was right here. Let me just search it up. Wow, NASDAQ under 11,000. Okay, so NASDAQ has gone below 11K. There we go. I don't trust these green days. Yeah, I mean, that is also true. It's hard to trust any of these green days. What is this tweet I just got? Is this some nonsense? U.S. Justice Department, we are about to announce a global cryptocurrency enforcement action. Okay. Let's see if they can actually do that. Jamie Dimon went on CNBC today. He had some interesting thoughts about crypto. We'll watch that in a little bit. For anyone who's a Bitcoin bull, you probably won't like what he said. But if you're a Bitcoin bull, you probably don't care about Jamie Dimon anyway. I interviewed a Spotify bull. That video will be out today as well. Asked him a lot. Spotify is his top holding. Out of every stock in the stock market, he picked Spotify as the top holding. So we'll discuss that and sort of why is logical. And I think it's a good interview for anyone who thinks about media stocks in general and tech stocks. I mean, the multiples, how you get content right, all that stuff I think is incredibly important outside of just Spotify. So that'll be a good one. Tesla again, 128.78. Google 91. We've had Elon Musk tweeting a lot about the World Economic Forum and how essentially it's a conspiracy government that is unelected by the people, and he's not necessarily wrong on that. The World Economic Forum is I think a lot of the business leaders, it's so funny, they all went there to talk about climate change, and I'm sure almost half of them went on a private jet to get there, which is it's just it's interesting. It's the hypocrisy of a lot of these elite events. It's like, well, you're not going to give up your life, but you're going to tell everybody else how to live. It's not necessarily something people want to hear, especially if they're not in that position, you know. SoFi at 540 down 2.8%. We've got SoFi earnings in about 11 days, so we're going to see how that happens as well. Uriel, what's up? Thanks for being here. Did you watch Timcast last night? They mentioned Palantir to their 1.3 million audience. If not, check it out. Was it good? I heard about this. I didn't get to watch the actual show. So I'll check it out later and see what they said about Palantir, but I didn't see. Good morning. EO was right. Did you time the top on Tesla yesterday? I mean, man, we will see, bro. Like, I would be very happy if Tesla keeps dropping because this is another buying opportunity for me as my conviction goes stronger. But I don't know. I mean, like the market's in such. Even Jim Cramer, you know, he had an interesting quote yesterday. He said like the market has to choose what it wants to do now. You know, so you can't go kind of inverse Jim because he said, look, the S&P's at a crossroads. Either it's going to tumble or it's going to go up. And I think more often than not, all of us would guess that it should tumble. It should not go up. It should not have the wherewithal to get to that next level. And so, I mean, there's just no catalyst for it to go up other than inflation going down. But if the Fed's not going to cool off with the interest rates, then that's not going to, I mean, it's just not going to be able to be a sustained rally ever. Right. So I think that's the hard part. DOD call added 50 million to the 2028 Palantir contract yesterday, currently valued at 99 million. Okay, not bad. There we go. More money. More money. Amit, do not give Jim Cramer props. I mean, he didn't really say anything. He just said something's got to happen. So it's not really props. It's more so just like, well, something's got to happen. And that's it. Blake, why are you triggering Gabe? There's no reason to do that. Because as of now, he's going to be more right than everyone else if this market continues to drop. Jim Cramer. Did you buy any stocks in Indian companies? Check out Adani share price over last year. I actually haven't. I've looked into them. I haven't actually bought it. I probably should. My uncle has bought. He's in India or he's in Malaysia actually. He's bought American companies more than I bought other. It's just like it's hard to analyze Indian companies and even just like changing their currencies to dollars from rupees and like trying to understand it. It's still a little difficult, you know. And just getting a good accurate sense of what should an Indian company be doing in revenue. But the Indian market, I mean, if you go to StockTwits, which is one of the largest social platforms for stocks, they have like an Indian version of it. And like, it's a whole different market. There's a ton of different jargon. I mean, like people just work in a different way. And so it's harder to sort of be part of it. It's hard enough to focus on the American stock market, you know. Google at 91. All right, we have the market open in 40 seconds. Bitcoin rising up just a little bit right now in the pre-market. Taiwan semi is just below 91 yesterday at 88.85. Enphase now at 246. Again, Enphase still a little pricey. We'll see if that can get down to the 200s. Cloudflare at 43. Yeah, I mean, look, man, if you guys want to buy today, it's not a horrible day to buy, but it also might be a nice time to just wait a little bit more and see if we can get into a better downtrend and see what happens. It's so weird though. This is exactly what happened in 2022. We had days like this and we had monster rallies, like at least 10%. Then we had, then we went all the way down another 30, 40% from that 10%. So it will be interesting to see how this all plays out. All right, here we go. January 19th, 2023, 9:30 a.m. The stock market is open. Wake your ass up. The stock market is open and the stock market is red. Google 91, Snapchat 933, Coinbase 49.10. It was just up at 54 yesterday. Snowflake 137, Apple 134, Netflix 322. Earnings today. Let's look at, I'm going to try to see some earnings estimates and see how many subscribers we're projecting so we'll be able to make the decision on seeing if Netflix can beat or miss those numbers. Meta at 132, Disney 98. The activist investors that are trying to take over Disney have made a hell of a case. Disney responded to them and basically said, look, Bob Iger knows what he's doing and you guys don't understand the media business. And the activist investors were like, Bob Iger left when the stock was basically, hold on, let's go to the max chart. Bob Iger left when the stock was right about here, rounding at the top, like right about here, like in the 200s, right? So all of that upside that Bob Iger did, he left, and now almost all of it has come right. Not almost all of it, but a lot of it has come down, right? So like Bob Iger left at the top, and this whole thing has collapsed. So I don't know what you mean. And he left you guys with a crappy balance sheet by buying Fox Studios for 73 billion, right? 21st Century Fox. So activist investors are making a case. AMD at 68, Wejo 64 cents, Pepsi 171, Melly 1060. Oh wow, this was at 800. This was at 600. This was at 800 the other day. Yeah, this was at 800 around December-ish, 814. Now it's up to 1000. This is like the Amazon of Latin America, essentially. Robinhood at 919, Amazon at 95. Why do your candlesticks on Weebles have balls? I honestly don't know. Give me a week of red so I can buy in my Roth. I'm here for the bell. Remember yesterday morning, I told you I trimmed everything by 25%. Learning to invest in a bear market was challenging, but I've been rocking it. I'm up 45% in the last 3 months. That's not bad, Glitch Life. Shit. That is not bad at all. Yeah, it's interesting. I again, for me, my averages are high. There's like 3 main positions I have. SoFi, Palantir, and Tesla. SoFi, my average is amazing. So I can buy, on any of these days and the average will be fine. Palantir and Tesla, I don't really care about when I buy because my average is so high. Palantir is like 17, Tesla's like 200. So whether I buy on a green day, a red day, it really does not matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just a question of when I want to buy. Right. And so the question becomes conviction based. As I said yesterday, when Palantir was at 6, at 5, I was buying because I liked it. I liked it at that level. And my conviction got even deeper when it went to those prices. Tesla at 100, I wasn't buying because my conviction wasn't there yet. Right. So whether I get Tesla at 130, 120, even I was buying Tesla at 170 and 150. You got to remember, I was buying the dip. So there's only so far in which you can keep buying the dip until you give yourself some time. Like, hold on, what's happening? Right. Then I'll make my decision. As my conviction for Tesla deepens, I'm fine to buy it, but now it's just a question of where can I get it and what are earnings really going to tell us about it. Palantir earnings, by the way, if you saw Karp speak yesterday at the World Economic Forum, I mean, he said without getting too much into Q4 earnings, I know how our commercial business is growing, and he kind of was like smiling, and he was implying that they're growing a lot in commercial. Now, does that mean they've really beat numbers? I don't know. But I don't think he would be talking the way he's talking and acting and literally saying the things he's saying without feeling that he has some chance to, show a decent level of earnings in the commercial sector, which is what we need. We need commercial growth more than we need governmental growth. So, from that perspective, it's just a question of when you want to buy and how you feel about getting into it. How many stocks are you bought? I don't know what that means. For Tesla, I think it's like 12 or 13. And for Palantir, it's like 2,500. I was always telling him to do more research on Tesla, but he is getting there. Oh, Rose leads to Rome. Yeah, and I mean, I'm talking to more people. Like, when you just talk to more people and you get an understanding of it, like, all the talking I've done with people on Palantir, I haven't even done 1/10 of it on with Tesla, right? So, like, for me, there's only so many videos you can watch before, and only so much time in the day because I'm like managing other stuff to really get an understanding of everything going on with Tesla. Okay, let's look at this. Weekly jobless claims fall to 190,000. Let's see what the jobs report is looking like for the market. Here we go.
Let's get straight over to Steve. He's got the jobless claims and some new housing data. Steve.
Yeah, I have 1.382 million on housing starts, Becky. A little better than expected, 1.36. Nothing to write home about in terms of beating it. Well, here's the table here. I can call it up and get permits. Let's see. Permits were down 1.6% to 1.3 million. That's a little worse than expected. It was 1.35 was expected. 1.33 was the number. On the jobless claims front, wow, 190 down to 190,000 if I'm reading this right. Consensus was 214. Becky, the data yesterday was maybe a turning point for a lot of folks when it comes to how ugly it was on the retail front, on the manufacturing front. And a lot of people saw that data and said, well, wait a second, this economy may be slipping into recession. We're not seeing it here in this jobless claims data, the employment part of the picture seems to remain relatively strong. I don't have continuing claims did rise, but they're still a low level, 1.647 million. And I want to give you my number for the day, Becky, and it is 79. That is the gap between the Federal Reserve and the market pricing for year-end 2023. Looking at the difference between 2023 and the January 24 contract, and this gap of 79 basis points is up near a high we've seen. So the market and the Fed are in continued disagreement here, or increasing disagreement over where things are going. Yesterday, all the Fed speak was about, maybe we're going to go down and go up less, 25 basis points, but we're still going up near 5%. And the market's like, what are you talking about? We don't understand it. Look what happened to 10-year yields. Look at the 2-year. I think I saw the 2-year was maybe going to breach the 4% mark. I don't know if that's where it is this morning. It was 407. No, now it's back up to 413. And the 10-year down near 332. So a lot of the extra tightness that Powell tried to build into the market from the Jackson Hole speech, a lot of that's gone away.
So this is really interesting, right? The jobs report is coming in at 190. Consensus estimate was about 214,000. That means there's more people getting jobs, which is not what the Fed wants. They want less people to have jobs because that means less money flowing into the economy because you're not getting paid necessarily, and you're spending less, which is technically decreasing inflation. Now, at some level, the Fed's going to have to make the decision that if inflation keeps going down half a basis point every month or a quarter basis point every month, by the end of the year, we're going to get down to 3-4%. If that happens and people can still have their jobs, that means the Fed is just incorrect about this argument that we have to have a harder landing because jobs have to, people have to be unemployed for this to happen. Like, so far, they've been unequivocally wrong. People do not have to be unemployed for inflation to go down. Now, the problem is, as he was saying in the video, that the Fed said, hey, we're raising rates to 5%. And the market was rallying up 5%. Yes, right. There was just a massive disconnect, and we've seen that kind of correct right here. But it doesn't make sense for people to not have jobs and for inflation to go down as a result of them not having jobs, at least in the eyes of the Fed, because people are able to have jobs and inflation is going down. And so, I mean, there's a greater economic sort of macro explanation for that we're gonna have to dive into. But so far, the Fed has been wrong. Let's look at JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon, his economic forecast. Obviously, this guy's one of the most influential figures when it comes to finance, and see what he's thinking about where the market is going.
Review of the morning. Jamie Dimon, Chairman and CEO of JP Morgan. Nice to see you, sir.
Happy to be here.
So you want to help us understand what happened in your mind between then and now?
Yeah, basically nothing. Okay, part of that storm clouds hit. Rates went higher than people thought. With stock markets down 20%, the IPO market disappeared. And the economy, of course, we all talk about it. It's like the weather. We don't really know. And I hate guessing about that. We should have a little humility. I've never seen anyone actually do it well. But the real issue for the world is Russia, war, Ukraine, energy, trade. And that is serious. And that's still out there. Hopefully it'll mitigate and go away, but it may not. So, as a risk manager, you kind of prepare for some of that.
But in terms of this question, we were literally debating just what happened yesterday in terms of how the markets are thinking about things compared to this morning, frankly.
The markets have always been wrong, too.
For a while.
I mean, listen, the way we run the company is to serve clients day in and day out through thick or thin. I know there are going to be recessions, up, downs, and downs. I really don't spend that much time worrying about it. I do worry about poor public policy that damages American growth. I worry about a lot of stuff, but not about whether, what the weather's going to be like. And of course, I don't want a recession because it hurts average Americans. I'm not for it, but I have to be prepared for it.
But I think there's a lot of businesses here that are trying to figure out what to do, what their budgets are supposed to look like, whether they need to raise more capital. Yeah. They'd have to call you for that. Yeah. I mean, that's why, so what are you telling them?
I think every business, any business, large or small, should prepare for a bunch of eventualities and then run the business to serve your clients. And, not worry that much about tomorrow's profit margins so are you building products and services and you can do a good job? And can you handle, the input and output prices going way up or way down?
Jimmy, a global conflict probably would be bad for JP Morgan and obviously for all of us. Yep. We're in Davos. It's almost like the Russia problem, people almost have it on a back burner. Like, oh, yeah, You know, dictators are going to do what dictators are going to do, but we still have how many nuclear weapons? Russia still has how many nuclear weapons? We don't know whether that's a
I
possibility.
agree with you. I think
And for every panel on climate change, there isn't a panel on a nuclear
the only
holocaust.
thing that matters for the future of the world is how this thing plays out. Russia, Ukraine, and the humanitarian crisis. When I wake up every day and I read the missiles going into buildings and killing kids every day, and it's nuclear blackmail. This is the most serious issue, and in my view, could be an inflection point for the Western world 400 years. Like, do we get our act together to help win this war, help the Ukrainians, help rebuild Ukraine, and then negotiate proper trade relations with China? You know, manage.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you look at this?
That is the issue. That's not the other stuff. Is the weather.
You just talked about China. Do you look at? Some people have talked about this as a dress rehearsal for whatever our relationship is with China in the future.
You know, China, Americans have to understand that our GDP per person is 75,000. Theirs is 15. We have all the food, water, and energy we need. They import 11 million barrels a day. You know, they've lifted up their society, but it's nothing like ours in terms of prosperity, growth, innovation. I want them to do well for their people. I'm not against it. We have a competitive relationship. It does not need to be adversary. I think I'm very happy that we're talking to them now. And you know, apparently,
they say they're opening up. That's the message you hear everywhere in Davos. Is that a head fake? Is that real? And
they have to.
They have to for the long term
for themselves. You know, they need to grow their economy, to lift up their people, to compete in the world out there. So the warm up is it's a warm up to the extent that the Western world. Trade's not going to go away, and it's all decoupling notion is crazy. What it's going to be is restructuring. So of two types: anything that relates to national security, so and it'll be different for every country. Semiconductors, reliant, secure, safe, cheap energy, which is critical for everybody, and food. And then where we think is unfair competition, that should be negotiated. And you know, yes, of course, America, we should have done this sooner, but we didn't. So
even.
Jamie Dimon making some good points as we get back into the market. The argument on China is really interesting. I put out a video yesterday saying that Saudi Arabia is considering using the yuan as a reserve currency for trading oil, which is their biggest commodity. Now, is this going to happen? I really don't think so, because I think the Saudis are smarter than putting the relationship with the United States at that level of risk. But they said they were open to it, obviously kind of just putting that out there. The argument about GDP, about how we have $75,000 per person versus 15,000 in China, that is, I think, the stat of the day when it comes to our relationship with China. If Ukraine can beat Russia, then it is unlikely that China will invade Taiwan, because they will be afraid of the ramifications, and they don't want to have to go back and lose, right? Russia, for Putin to go back and say he lost, that's not going to be the best. So, you know, when you have allies like the Saudis potentially, and you have your GDP not as strong as it is for not as strong per person that it is in America, it seems unlikely that they would go do something dramatic like invade Taiwan. But if you ask Taiwanese experts, and I watched a documentary about this, they say it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And so that geopolitical fight is going to be the next fight of the next decade, right? How adversarial can China and the United States become against each other? And I think Jamie Dimon's talking about the right points. It's like, look, we're talking about interest rates, inflation, but the geopolitical crises frame everything. Like, if Russia never invaded Ukraine, who knows if we would have had the massive decline we had in 2022. And I think Kathy Wood also has spoke about she never expected that, right? So as a result of Palantir knew it was coming somehow, but Kathy didn't. And I think if Kathy did know, she probably wouldn't have been buying like Spotify at a certain time, right? Or, you know, she would have probably bought some other stocks. So it has been the thing that has framed the past year, and China doing what they're going to do is also going to frame a lot of what happens. Increase your, oh, wow, my volume was so down. I'm so sorry. Wow, I didn't notice that. Sorry, guys. I just put it up. Wow, my bad. Absolutely, I like the video. He gets up every morning and does these live streams. Ah, thank you, Cash King. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, cool. ARK shouldn't be 160. Yeah, I agree. ARK shouldn't be 160, but does it deserve to be 30? That's the question. Jeez, I thought it was I just turned up my volume. It's live TV, baby. That's true. It's live TV. It's show business. All right, let's try to get some estimates on what's going on with Netflix. Netflix earnings preview. We can probably find like a Seeking Alpha article, right? We can find something. Okay, here we go today. Here we go. I found a Barron's article. Is there anything here? Is there anything here? No, this is a stupid little paragraph. I hate when they do this, bro. Like, they just clickbait the crap out of these articles. It's like one paragraph is not an article. It's just not. We need some more. Okay, here we go. The Hollywood Reporter. This makes more sense, I think. You guys are asking what happened to Cowbell. So, look, Cowbell is probably not going to be happening anymore. Tom is busy. I mean, and that is the actual honest truth. He has a lot going on in his life right now, so that's why Cowbell is not happening. We were supposed to address it this week, but things got even busier. Let's see. Okay, the internet's okay. I might be still doing Cowbell with a new host, potentially. We are figuring that out. Not sure if we're going to do it, but we're going to see. We are going to see. But in general, me and Tom are not going to be doing the show anymore because he is incredibly busy. And as a result of him being busy, it's just harder for us to do the show. Like he has a family, he has kids, he has his main channel. So it was especially like the timings, it just didn't work out that much. So that's kind of, that's the core issue essentially for why we can't do it. So now I do have a co-host in mind because he wants me to continue doing the show. I just don't know if I will be able to personally. And that second co-host, I don't want to say yet, but we might do it. Like, we're thinking, should we do it? I don't know if people would like it. I don't know if people would care if Tom's not there, if it's just me and someone else. So we're thinking. All right, guys, don't worry. I'll host. Tom spoke about this in a video on his channel. Yeah, it's like, so we will see. We will see. I have a second co-host in mind. I just don't know if we're going to do it yet fully. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, as of now, it's me and Tom are definitely not doing the show anymore. Again, people get busy. All right, let's take a look at a little bit of Netflix's earnings. So obviously Wednesday was a big hit. Who watched Wednesday? Put in the chat. I did not watch this thing. I don't have time to watch like a 20-minute YouTube video. So it's hard for me. If I'm watching a 20-minute video, I'm listening to a 20-minute. So it's really hard sometimes to watch full shows. Like, bro, like You, for example, one of my favorite shows on Netflix, season 3 I hated. So I don't even know if I'm going to give myself the privilege of watching season 4 because that's a lot of commitment. So we'll see. But Wednesday was a big hit. Netflix added 2.4 million users in the third quarter to hit 223 million overall customers. They projected they would add 4.5 million. So that's the number. We are looking for 4.5 million subscribers in the fourth quarter. Many on Wall Street predict the company will hit or slightly exceed that 4.5 million mark. JP Morgan analyst Doug Ammuth, who has an overweight rating and 330 price target. Well, the stock's at 326 right now. So, 330, he's kind of reached it so far. Glass Onion, Troll, All Quiet on the Western Front, My Name is Vendetta, breakout hit Wednesday. These 5 hit releases follow up on Netflix, adding 6 of its most popular pieces of content ever during the third quarter. 4.75 million subs gain, above 4.5 million. We believe 4.5 to 5 million. So he also said, we remain bullish on Netflix shares and the company's ability to re-accelerate revenue, expand operating margins, and grow free cash flow in 2023. There is considerable focus on the recent basic with ads tier launch. It'll be interesting to see how much money the ads tier made as well if they explain that segment. Only 205,000 net ads in the fourth quarter to BWA, or only 5% of our total 4 point. So they're expecting only 205,000 customers joined based on the ads tier. The other 4.5 million are purely paying for the service in and of itself. They ended in 2023, would end with 8 million global ad tier subscribers, with the base rising to around 43 million by 2020. So by 2028, they think 43 million people will pay for ads on Netflix. Interesting. Okay, so that's the Netflix earnings preview. So I think live, I'll try to stream it at 5 o'clock and see if it's gonna happen. Have you watched White Lotus? Yes. No, I've not watched it. Can confirm it's not me. Yeah, it's not Chris. Look, I was thinking of someone else. It's also they have to be able to do the timings, and timings are hard. Chris also has work. He's flying from week to week, so I don't know, man. We'll see. Chris, I'll tell you off camera who I'm thinking about. But again, my heart is not in it as much as it was before, so that's also why I'm like, I don't even really know if I want to do it. Is it Kelly? No, it's not Kelly. It's not Kelly. Obviously, it's not Kelly. That would be cool though if me and Kelly did it. I feel like we would rip each other's heads off in the show. So that's my thing. I just don't know if I still want to do it, but we will see. We will see. I watched season 1 and 2. Is it okay to skip season 3 and season 4 when it comes out? Honestly, season 1 and 2 of you is all that matters. Season 3 and 4 really didn't do anything. So you can always try and see how the community reacts. Yeah, I think that's the case. That's probably what we're going to be doing. All right, let's go back and look at a little bit more of the market, and then we'll be done with this for today. How more red did we get? All right, so Tesla's down a little bit more, 127. Palantir 676. Oatly 240. SoFi 541. Spotify 91. That Spotify video again coming out today. I think it'll be really good. You guys will enjoy it. Uber 28. Yeah, nothing crazy. Oh, by the way, we got Palantir earnings. Palantir earnings February 16th. Palantir earnings February 16th. That's a Monday. So mark your calendars. I will be live on this channel. Chris will probably be joining me. Palantir earnings February 16th in the morning. We're going to do this. We're going to see if Palantir can deliver. Can they get to $2 billion in revenue versus 1.9? Can they do it? Let's see. We will see. February 16th. Are you and Tom still friends? Yes. We're still friends. It's not anything like, it's honestly, he doesn't have time for it. Like it's nothing about friendship or anything like that. He actually doesn't have time. And so he came to that decision a couple of weeks ago, and I can't force him to do the show. I also understand, like, he has a family, he has different things on his plate. So I'm like, all right, I get it, I get it. And the show is really not making any money either, right? So, it's hard for someone to dedicate that much time, especially when they're much older versus someone like me who doesn't need to make money off the show. So it is what it is, like at the end of the day, if he doesn't have time, he doesn't have time. So we're still good friends. We still talk, all that stuff. Nothing's changed there. But yeah, that is kind of the issue. Snapchat 936, S&P 388. Wow, look at Netflix. 318. It was at 329 yesterday. All right, so yeah, I can still buy puts if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna buy puts because if they beat, if they even beat a little bit with those subscriber numbers, like I have no research done for why Netflix wouldn't beat for the subscriber numbers. In fact, Q4 not pandemic, but like winter holiday season, you'd imagine their advertising went into full effect to get those subscriber numbers. So I think they will get the numbers, and if they don't, they don't. I mean, long term, I'm not bullish, but I don't want to have a short term play on them just for them to beat or to meet expectations, right? When are we having Kelly on the show? Kelly's also nervous to get on camera, guys, so it's going to be hard for her to ever do the show in the first place. Hopefully Palantir finally gets paid from the government. That would help. Cindy, good morning. Good morning. Okay, that's it for me, everybody. I'm off. Thank you all for joining. 279 people. Appreciated it. I mentioned dailypalantir.com, our newsletter yesterday, and we got a bunch of subscribers yesterday. So check it out. dailypalantir.com/subscribe. I give a newsletter every day around 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Updates you on everything going on in the world of Palantir. Palantir earnings coming up February 16th. That'll be fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Spotify video coming out today. I think I have one other video coming out. Netflix earnings around 5 p.m. We'll be streaming that. So if anything, we'll have Spotify video, Netflix earnings stream. And that should be good for today. All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today, 5 p.m. for Netflix earnings. Bye, everybody.